Hey, what's going on?
Hi, nothing much, nothing much. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the commentary zone. As you enter the room, please do us a favor, give us a thumbs up. We really, really, really appreciate it. And it helps push our little chat out there into the YouTube algorithms. Today, we will be talking about the Belle Collective, Season 1, Episode 5, No Yams. What'd you think about this episode, Jamal?
There wasn't much to this episode, but it wasn't a bad episode. It was just one of the ladies' storyline kind of took up most of the episode, so
Mm-hmm.
it went by kind of quick. Like I said, it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
bad. It was just what there wasn't as much meat to it. It felt like a very, very good filler episode, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
It was filler to move the story along, but it wasn't filler to the point of like, why is this here? We got some good insight.
Yeah, well, for me, it was neither here nor there. I guess it could be filler if I cared enough about it. I did have one standout in the episode, Cliff or Zaddy. Um, I I was impressed how he stepped up and put together that little event in memorial of, Latrice's brothers. I thought that was kind of cool. Um, so brief highlights of the episode. It starts off back at the brunch, Latrice's brunch, and it moves on from there with Latrice trying to figure out the next steps forward with her company and her goals for the year for the company. Um, Letitia's husband Glenn comes home. Um, Antoinette is back at her build out of her dental office. Let's see. Letitia is looking for vendors for the project on Ferris Street. And lastly, Latrice, she she has her family over to the house to plant some trees in memory of her brothers. So yeah, we start off back at the brunch with Marie and Kaylon going at it, and Miss Dorothy had to put him in check. That's so sad.
It is, but I may have a different take than most people, but I kind of felt that the attitude they complain about from white people is the same
Mhm.
attitude they gave Kaylin, and I didn't like that at all. There was no reason to make her feel so on the spot and so singled out. It was unnecessary. In that case, you just say, "Hey,
Mm.
enough. You're both wrong. Um, this is not what we do here." My issue with Miss Dorothy, what she said was like, as black women, it should just been as women. It should
Mm.
have been just as women, and because when you say as black women, we're to rise above. It means you should rise above this one white girl that's sitting there. And if you really didn't want to give her that energy, you would have shown her more grace. You would have shown her what to do and how to act versus saying how you should act and making a point to single her out. That's how you handle a situation. You say, you know what, we're all ladies, we're all professionals, we're all entrepreneurs. We are not to behave this way. This is disrespectful to Letitia's brunch and what we're here for. We all must do better. And then you sit down and then you continue.
I can agree with you on that. You know, but it is what it is, and Miss Dorothy only had what she had
Hmm.
to
Oh
work
yeah,
with.
totally agree.
I just thought it was. I'm just tired of people hijacking this brunch. If that makes
Always.
any sense. Yeah, I'm just tired of it. I'm grateful that she finally got to the point, meaning Letitia, and made her presentation regarding Ferris Street. But I don't know, maybe they edited out parts of it, but like, did she say that I'm gonna need you guys' financial buy-in to revitalize this street? And where is Marie and Essie gonna get the money from to be a part? Like, I was so lost in this scene.
Well, I know
I
they're
was
looking
so
to.
happy she finally got it done, but it didn't seem effective to me as presenting a business plan or something.
Right. I didn't hear anything about the financials, but remember,
Mhm.
Essie, and Marie were looking to build a new 10,000 foot square facility anyway. So maybe with this project, Letitia's trying to coerce them to put that money into Ferris Street versus looking somewhere else. That's the way I took it. Antoinette
Okay.
Antoinette's out the picture because she already building her stuff, so she not about to stop that and trying to move it nowhere. She is where she is.
Mhm.
And then maybe if Latrice ever shows up to another brunch, she may want to put like a shop on Ferris Street. Just start with those ladies' businesses and ventures, and then more and more. It should attract more and more people back to that area. I think that's the goal, to at least get these ladies on board with putting money into Fair Street, and hopefully more bigger companies will want to invest in the area. That's like think is going to happen, or what she wants to happen, but I'm not sure because um she presented an idea for me, like a vision. But like
Uh-huh.
you, I didn't hear anything about a business plan. I'm hoping she meets with each of the ladies separately and says, "Hey, this is my end game. Where do you want to be?"
I have a question for you. Okay, so if she proceeds with the Crystal Ballroom, right? That's going to be up to $2.5 million
Hmm.
as a rental, a lease. Um, it's going to be like 2.5 million to refurbish that and bring it
Hmm.
up to code and still keep within the historical framework.
Guidelines. Hmm.
Um, eh, oh, where is she going to get the financials for this? Like, I've always
Uh,
questioned what it was that she did for a living, but you're telling me like it could be that she's a housewife and she does the brunch thing. How profitable are these brunches? Um, I don't see a bank forking up that kind of money for a project like
well,
this with no business plan. I I've already told you my doubts with regards to the profitability of a brunch cafe. Um, I don't know. I just have like, was she asking them to invest in the Crystal Ballroom or into individual projects along the street? That's where I was lost.
gotcha. I didn't hear that address either. So,
Oh,
I mean, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I was thinking along the same lines when I was watching. I'm like, well, how is this gonna work? Because are you gonna do the whole Crystal Ballroom yourself, and the ladies do their own thing on the street in the area, or are you hoping they invest into the Crystal Ballroom? So that wasn't
yeah.
made clear. So I get where. Hopefully, we get more clarification down the road.
I hope so too, because it is a great project. Um, I don't think she's focusing on the right people to get the money to invest in that street because she's going to need big money investors. Um, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna move along. Next we see Latrice with Melanie. And they're going over, I guess, the next 12 months and the goals for the next 12 months, the various product launches. And I like how Latrice thinks. She sets excellent goals for herself and she's got the determination to meet them.
Hmm.
She's confident in herself, in her product, in her company, and where she wants to go with it. I loved, like, every time we see her and Melanie like sitting down and talking about the company, somehow it's always interrupted by Cliff. And he just
Always,
irritates
always. It's like, why are you here, sir? Let them be alone and talk business. They got this. Just sit back and make money. Just do that. Do
me.
that for me.
Yeah.
Do that for the fans. Do that for your wife. Do it
Hmm.
for some. Do it for somebody because you're not needed at this point.
I don't know, but he comes in to tell her about her brother, Derek, who's been like not returning calls or texts or anything to her, and she's a little bit, flummoxed about it because she's like, well, he's my closest brother. We have the same, no, she said we're born one day apart but different years.
Hmm.
um they grew up really tight. That's her best, like, sibling, and he's not returning her phone calls. And Cliff tells her, well, maybe it's because you don't like his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oops. So I guess from that, she decides to plan the event, to commemorate her two deceased brothers. And she gets the entire family over to the house. But that's later on in the episode. But anyway, next we see Letitia and her husband, who's come home from work.
Too funny. I mean, I like their setup. It's pretty interesting that he goes away for 28 days, comes back for 2 weeks. I mean, it's not the most traditional, but it seems kind of cool because you get to miss the person. And they talked about that. When they're away, it's like, and they come back, it's like it's all new again. I'm like, that's good. You get a chance to miss somebody versus them always being around. So I did like that, but his attitude later, not so much.
See, I can work with a relationship like that. Like, I do well in long distance relationships. So when they said this dynamic, I was like, I'm all in. Where can I find a tug person from that I can hook up with, and you can be gone 8 months of the year? I'd be very happy. Oh my God, that's so sad. But yeah, I thought it was cute how they described their relationship. I think at one point she said it's like, when he comes home, it's like a honeymoon,
Hmm.
and she's, as soon as he walks in, they have ice cream with their son, and then she pulls him aside and she's like, let me catch you up on things. So they make the effort to, like, if anything is missed in the 28 days with phone calls or whatever, they could sit down face to face and have a little update session, and then I guess update other things afterwards.
Right, which is a great way to go about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so next we see Kaylon going over to see Antoinette in the new dental practice that she's building out. So she's putting a yoga studio in there too.
Hey, namaste.
Um, she's planning a sip and see for the office space for the within the next month. But the good thing is that now they have the framework for the walls up. So at least we saw some progress this week.
Right. There's a lot done. You can tell. I was like, whoa, they did a lot. But I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
but when she said a month, I'm like, oh, good luck with that.
No, you could put up drywall real quick. You could
Oh,
one the framework is harder than putting up the
oh,
drywall
okay,
itself. Yeah,
okay.
because once you get it up, and then you do the plastering against the seams and stuff like that, you just gotta let it dry. But getting the framework up even and getting the rooms framed out, that's the hardest part. So at least they did that.
Oh, nice.
Happy for her. Um, but do I think that they'll be smelling paint during that 7C? Yes, they will.
I see fans. Just saying. I see fans.
So yeah, she asked Kaylon what she thought about the brunch. Um, I think that's useless because I think they're stuck in their own perspectives.
Correct.
Next, we see Letitia in her home office, making calls to various vendors regarding the Ferris Street project. Glenn seems to be hungry. He opened up the refrigerator. It was full of stuff in there. Like, he couldn't make anything out of what he found in the kitchen. But you have an interesting take on this that you and I discussed earlier. You tell me what he was looking for.
In regards to what, just so I know, because I know that he was looking for her to basically do what she probably always done, and she said that like when he would come
Mhm.
home, her life would stop for like 2 weeks, and she told him, she's all, with this project, that's not going to happen.
Mhm.
This was a little bit later, but this is what he's used to.
Yeah.
Her dropping everything, catering to him, probably cooking like every meal from scratch, and being available for him. And then, like, once that's done, whenever he feels like rolling over on top of her, she's just supposed to be ready. And that's the vibe he gave me, and that's the attitude he gave me.
Now, when he first came home earlier in the episode, she did forewarn him. She said, I'm doing this project. Things are going to be a little different. Um, do I have your support? And I swear he said yes.
110%.
So how come today is like not even 30% in? Like, I don't get it. Did he think she was joking?
No, I think what he expected was that yes, you're going to do this project, but you're still going to be able to do all that you did for me every other time. He
But that's not what
feels
she
that,
said.
right, but what he feels should happen is that this project should fit around his life, not the project being a part of their life. That's what it is.
Oh.
Like she's supposed to work this project around what his needs.
Okay, now. Well, at least we know he can vacuum.
Yes, 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 yes. Beautifully.
But you gave me that new take on it because I wasn't even thinking about like the sex part. I was just like, but she told you it was going to be different. Like, how are you interrupting her call? She's at work.
Right. And you should be I mean, I don't understand men who don't understand a working wife mother. When she's working, you're off for 2 weeks, sir. You got 2 weeks to have sex. It's nothing new. I'm sorry, you've probably done it all before. I don't think there's any surprises. So let your wife do her thing. Be the support system that she needs. Because what's gonna happen is you keep being petty and interrupting her calls. It's not gonna make her want to have sex with you. So I'm not understanding this line of thinking because what your actions are counterproductive to your end goals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What you should have done is cooked you some food and then took her a plate and then just let her know like, hey, heard you,
Mm.
heard you hard at work. Here's some food. Please enjoy. And then what she would have done is she'd have
Give him
probably
a little quickie.
finished her call, ate the food, and just came and gave you like you said, a little quickie, real quick, and then went back to work. That's what you do.
Yeah,
That's what you
that's
do.
smart. But the argument, because they do proceed to get an argument. Like when she gets off the phone with the contractor, I think it was, she goes and she confronts him and, like me, what happened to the, 110% yesterday? And it kind of turns because he brings up, he wants a contract of what her wifely duties are. And she's like, are you serious? Well, where's my vow renewal ceremony? And I'm like, wait, how? We've gone off on a tangent. Who cares about this? What happened to the business? I'm
Right.
just so lost in this argument.
Some underlying tensions came out. That's all. That's all.
Jeez. But you know what? That's to be expected from the dynamic that they have, where he is
Hmm.
away for a month and comes back for 2 weeks, and that cycle goes back and forth. There is a communication disconnect, and they do have to work really hard on communication and staying on the same page.
Agreed.
Um, his expectations, um, I don't think he values what she brings to the relationship. I'm sorry to say that.
I don't think it's that. I just think she wasn't really. She was a basic was sound the way he's making her sound like this. She was a typical housewife. She stayed home, tended to the child, cleaned and cooked. That's the perception he's giving us. So
No,
now
and I agree with that.
now that she's working, this is a dynamic he's never had to deal with before. So what he's like I said before, he's what he's expecting is everything that she's doing should not take away from what she's done before. He in his mind, she should make it to where her project fits around their ordinary life. And what she's told him that with this project, our life is going to change. And he's not feeling that.
W When I say no, I get what you're saying, but when I
Mhm.
say he doesn't value what she brings to the relationship, in a essence, I think he's devaluing her because all he expects is the housewife thing and you just cater to me when I'm home. There's so much more to Letitia than just those 2 weeks.
Right,
And
but he
I
doesn't.
feel like he doesn't appreciate that in her. He's only looking at it like in a self-serving way that it should only be about me when I come home.
Fair, but he's never seen her in work mode though. And you could that's why I kind of picked. I'm like, have you not ever seen her in work mode? I'm like, is that what it is? Because
Maybe that's
w-
it.
what it seems like. What I have a feeling is what happens is that when he's away, that's when she does all her work, like her professional stuff. It's because it's easier when he's not there. So he's never actually seen her like hunkered down working. But this project is so huge, it's going to bleed over into his 2 weeks. And he's never seen her in work mode. Like you can just tell he's never seen this before. Mm-mm.
Can you tell me when he said you acting brand new? What did he mean by that?
He means like you're acting like this is my requests are new. Like I've never told you these things before. Like you've never like
Mm.
we haven't had this arrangement for years. That's the way I take it. That's the way I take it.
Oh.
Because he's looking at her like, why are you mad about these expectations? Like they've been here this whole time. Nothing's changed. And she's getting frustrated with him because she's added something new to their dynamic, and he's giving what she feels is pushback, which is kind of throwing her over the edge.
I needed that male perspective because I told you earlier when we were talking about this, like nothing was connecting for me
Hmm.
in this argument. It just went from one tangent to the next. And I was like, what are they talking about?
Hmm.
What are they fighting about? Seriously? A sandwich or steak and potatoes or whatever food it is that you want? Really? Um, so so he's fighting over expectations and gender roles.
Yes.
And she's fighting over wanting to expand upon that, doing something like I think she said at one point, I want to do something for me.
Yes. For him, the gender roles, what it's not so much gender roles per se. It's a pattern of behavior that's established, that's rooted in traditional gender roles.
But
That's
the gender roles that they've established for
established.
their
Correct.
relationship.
Hmm.
She has her
Exactly.
role to play, he has his role to play. She's happy housemaker and he's the breadwinner. And when he comes home, you know, their dynamic has something that caters just to him.
Exactly. Exactly.
Ah, thank you for helping me with that because I was a little lost in that one scene, but okay. Um, he tells her that she has 14 days to figure it out.
Yeah, I was like, you lost your mind.
Was that
Letitia,
an ultimatum?
yes. Now I told him like, I'd like to give me 14 days to go to my lawyer.
Nuh-uh.
That's what I would have done. You're not gonna give me an
She's
ultimatum.
not gonna do that though.
She's
She's
not.
not
She's
gonna
not.
do
But
that.
that's something that's just that. But that's something I would have said in the heat of the moment.
Oof. Well, that would have caused another fight. Well, she says she's withholding yams throughout the rest of the 14 days. So good luck, Glenn.
Right.
God. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the last scene, the last segment of the show is basically Latrice and her family getting together at her home. We also see Antoinette and Melanie joining them. And everyone's dressed in white. Cliff was a gem this episode to me because he actually put everything together for the gathering. It was a great spread of food. Can you tell I always look at food in these shows? Great spread of food. Everybody was out on the back patio. He even got the two little trees that they were going to go and do the planting ceremony, and he actually dug the holes for the trees. So I thought it was really good. She had a little something going on with her brother Derek, which they ultimately sat down privately and discussed, like calm, rational adults. Yay.
It was beautiful to see them talk it out. Basically, the family likes the ex girlfriend slash baby mama. Obviously, they love her because the ex baby mama and the baby is actually staying with his mother, or I should say
Mm-hmm.
their mother.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just doesn't like being around family functions because as she's living with their mother, he's gonna see her. He's not trying to do all that because they're not in the best of places. And then they don't particularly well the tree doesn't particularly care for Belinda, who his new girlfriend.
Okay.
But I do love the fact that she's willing at some point to sit down with Belinda to talk through her issues with her because, like she said, I don't dislike Belinda. I don't like some of her ways. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, but for the sake of her brother, she's gonna ride with him whether she like the girlfriend or not. She's gonna be there regardless, and I love that dynamic.
Okay. So here's some questions that came up for me during this particular conversation. So Belinda has to have been around for a little while for Latrice to establish that she doesn't like some of Belinda's ways. Secondly,
Hmm.
someone said that I think her name is Pam, his child's mother, has been living with
Hmm.
their mom since Derek and Pam broke up. How long has she been
Right.
living there? And
It's gonna have to be for a minute.
it does because like everyone has established that they don't like Belinda for some reason other than she's the new girlfriend. You know, that irrational don't like reason. Um why is Pam still living with his mom? Why is she
Because they
attending
love her.
all of these family no if I'm grown and I have my child, okay, they took me in when I broke up with him. I might not have had the means to go out and get an apartment, but I'm going to work and save up, and me and my daughter are going to be on our own. You know what I mean? I don't want to be beholden to my almost in-laws. I'm a little
Right.
independent that way. Um,
Right. But the family loves her. The mother took her in, and she has the granddaughter. So taking all that in, there's no incentive for her to leave. And it seems like their mother, the grandmother in the situation, likes having them there.
I don't know. Like
But
you
that
can
makes
like
him
having me there, but I would want my independence, and I wouldn't be going to the family. I would be sending my kid, but I per se would not be going. We broke up. We could still be cordial. You'll always be my child's grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason why I could see her staying is if she does want to cause some sort of friction with regards to the new lady.
Right. So we have to meet. Hopefully, we get to meet both ladies to feel them out to see what's really going on.
Well, if we meet both
That's what I'm
ladies, I
interested in. I
do
want
want
to
to
see if
see an
there's
argument.
both. I need to see both to come up with a fair assessment, because it just seems like a very odd dynamic.
Yeah. But again, I love the conversation that she had with her brother. There was some sort of resolution. There was a plan to move forward and actions to be taken. Um, Yay. But this scene gave me questions with regards to Pam and Belinda. And did we figure out whether he's married or
Mm-hmm.
not? Because Cliff
I'm gonna
said
say
that they were
no. I,
married, but not.
I'm gonna say no because he said, like, if I were gonna get married, you would definitely be there. I would definitely tell you.
Okay. Okay. All right. So Cliff, you lost 1 point. Yeah, I did we hit on everything?
For me, that was it. It was like I said. It was like a very good filler episode. It was a very good. It was a very good filler. Like, I felt the story moved along, but nothing
Mm-hmm.
super major happened.
Yeah.
Because we see next week what's going we get some sort of a blowout, and that's gonna be fun. But we'll save that for next week.
Cool. Well, guys, let us know your thoughts on this episode. Leave them in the comment section below. We do read our comments and respond. This was the Belle Collective Season 1, Episode 5, No Yams. If you like our review, hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can be made aware every time that we're dropping new content. And most importantly, tell a friend. We want everybody to join the conversation on these silly, silly shows. Until next time, bye.
Bye.